And now Mel Bryan will show us how to use a skew.
All right, maybe.
Take it away, Mel.
So I guess you could say I'm here to help your turning become more askew?
Wait a minute. Don't forget to tip your waiter.
No, on the board we've been kind of kicking around the idea of maybe getting more back to basic tool techniques and just basics. We've got a lot of new members and the new turners and whatnot. So, and where better to start than the best tool in the box, the Skew Chisel. Well, I know there's a lot of people are afraid of Skew Chisel, and I hope by the time we're done here tonight, you'll realize there's no need to be afraid of it. There's only two things, basically, that I hope to get across. One is practice, 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 practice. Yeah, well, and then that's, oh, and then there's four other things. Ride the bevel, ride the bevel, ride the bevel, ride the bevel. That's all there is to it.
What's that mean?
I will show, I hope to get that across. Who asked that? Okay. Hopefully we'll explain that. All right, Skew Chisel. There are a lot of Skew Chisels. Some of them you can't even find here. Here's three kinds. Flat, round, and oval. They each have their uses. Some people don't like some over others, but also there's different configurations of the. Well, let's see. Let me keep going. You can also call these skews. Oh, there's a round one. Here's another little flat one. This is a bidan. This one wiggling here. And that can be used as a skew chisel. Parting tool can be used as a skew. And this is another parting tool, parting and beading tool. That can be used as a skew. So basically any tool with a straight edge and a bevel can be used like a skew chisel. So. I'm going to the board now. Basic configuration of a skew. Angled edge. Okay. This angle, like 70 degrees. Okay. If we look at it from, that's a bench skew. Very bad.
Excuse me.
I'm nervous. You guys scare me. This is a 25-degree angle. That gives you about well, that's 25 degrees. Technically, it would be at 55 degrees. I think something like that. And I hope I explain a little bit as I'm using it, some of the limitations. Now, some people say you can go as much as 40 degrees on that angle. but that's a pretty blunt. It gives you a short bevel. If you go with a longer bevel, sharper point, they say you can use that with softwood, but it's a fragile point. It doesn't last as long. At 25 degrees, I think, is pretty much middle of the road. That's the only one I've ever used, and I think it's all you ever need to. Here's a skew chisel. Okay, now in the sharpening the skew chisel, one of the first things, the most important things I think, is to soften and round over these edges of the shaft of the skew, so that it doesn't dig in to your tool rest, so it doesn't catch when you're using it. Okay, so this is 70 degrees. This would be 25. Okay. A lot of different ways of sharpening it. You can use a belt sander. This is my version of Chip Siskey's jig to sharpen it on a belt sander. The skew goes in like this, the belt's right here, and you just run it in like that and you get a nice flat bevel. But I don't care for it. I mean, that's what you get used to. But that gives you a flat bevel, one side and then the other. Sharpen it on a grinding wheel, you'll get a little bit of a, I don't know if you can see it or not, you get a little bit of a hollow grind. And that's what I'm used to, and I like it. Here's one drawback to this oval skew. It is hard to grind, hard to sharpen. The flat skew, you can just hold like this. This is the tool rest on the grinder. You can just hold it on there and at an angle and sharpen it. But here, it's not stable, so it's a little difficult. But I've got this Woodcut True Grind sharpening jig. It's similar to the Wolverine, the Varigrind, but I think it's better, really, because it'll open up, and it has, you notice it has a little V notch. Set that in the, and when you put it on your grinder, put it in the, like on the Wolverine, you have the arm that sticks out, and then just run it across the wheel, and nothing to it. Nice and even.
Who makes that?
Woodcut.
Woodcut.
Yeah, I think it's a New Zealand company. But there are other knockoffs, and I can't recall what they are right now. But I think if you Google it, you'll probably get some knockoffs. You're a machinist, you can probably make one. Huh? Okay. The advantage to show you actually, this little oval skew is the one that I learned with, and once I kind of got used to it and more adept with it, it was my favorite tool. The advantage to it is making beads and coves or curves. what you're going to see here tonight, really, I've copied a lot of my information here in my demonstration. It comes from Alan Batty. You look him up on YouTube, and you'll probably see my demonstration. But he has an excellent video on using the skew chisel. Alan Batty, and he's on the Craft Supplies channel. Alan Lacer has another video on YouTube, the Dallas Woodturners, and I think there's also DVDs in the library by him. He was here at Northland a few years ago and gave a great demo. Now, okay, here's something else I didn't cover. Well, let me come back to that. The guy I learned from by video is Mike Darlow. Is an Aussie, and I think he's a physicist or something. He goes into excruciating detail on angles and, you know, this and that, but that's the way I learn. So it was good for me. Some people find it boring, but he has a lot of good information. And we have his DVDs in the library. There's a lot of other YouTube videos. Some of them you need to kind of avoid. You know, some of them use it as a scraper, and that just puts me in the hospital. Another good one is John Lucas. He's an AAW member, and he's got good videos. See, what was I going to get back to? Oh, the profiles, like Alan Lacer kind of profiles his with a little radius, and it's a little kind of straight at the beginning and radiuses down. To me, it's difficult to use. I'm used to the straight, so I really don't, none of mine are sharpened like that. Richard Raffin is another radius proponent. His is radius all the way. To me, it's more difficult. I mean, to me, you can get a fairer curve, a nicer curve with a straight edge. I'm going to start making, there's about 6 different cuts from the square. I'll cover 4 or 5 of them.
Before you start, how high is your tool rest?
I'm glad you asked.
Well, I screwed
I
up with my
expected
screw of this.
I expected that question to come later, but that's a good point. It doesn't matter. Well, in a sense, okay, because it's all relative. Okay, we're dealing with a round, especially when you get it rounded. You're dealing with round. Where is the center line on round? I have my tool rest right at center. Okay, but you know, if you have it higher or lower, all that means is you're going to be cutting higher on the wood or cutting lower on the wood. You know, so it kind of depends on what's comfortable for you. And I like it right about center, maybe a little below center, so that you're, well, we'll get into this. That when we get it round, we'll see it a little clearer, okay? And this just feels a little high, so I'm going to lower it a little bit. All right. From square to round, what I'm going to do is make what they call pommel cuts. That's the transition from square to round. Like on a table leg, So what we're going to make is a curve like this, okay? Can you see that? But I'm going to start out here and work my way back. And by the time we get back here, this should meet on the line. I hope. Okay? That's the right side. Do the same thing on the left. We'll start out here, work our way back. Okay? That's the plan. Question? Okay, I'm going to hold, I can get a hold of a pencil here. The bevel is going to be angled in the direction of travel. Okay? The handle is low. I'm going to bring it up and push it in. Okay? And work my way back.
Is the point up or down on
It's down.
the point is actually down?
Yeah, it's down.
Hold it to the side.
The other side's the heel.
Okay.
This is the heel.
Yeah. The heel is up then?
Yes.
Okay.
Then I'm bringing the handle up. Okay, we made it. Now see this edge that I was aiming for, or cutting. See, it's clean. Of course, that would go away. That edge would go away if you're turning something. Do it the opposite direction. I just felt a piece of wood hitting my hand. Yeah, it chipped off. Okay, besides coming up and pushing in, I'm using my body to make the curve. The handle is pretty much into my turning muscle here. And I'm moving, swaying on my legs here, it's making the curve. We got a ways to go. Okay? Now, there's another pommel cut, which is a straight cut, like here. It's a transition from a straight to round. That one is a little more of a challenge, but it's basically the same, except we're not making a curve. I will start out here a ways, and I'll make myself a relief area, okay, and keep working into the line. The bevel is going to be at 90 degrees in line with the line, perpendicular to the axis. And I'm gonna hold it, look like you're looking at a clock. It's going to be at 12 o'clock. Okay? And then when I make the relief cut, I'm going to turn it over to make a little V, give myself some room. So I'll alternate back and forth. Okay? Is that clear as mud? Well, we am angling it over. Now back straight. Okay, well now we have a straight edge.
Mel,
Yes,
you've used both sides of your bevel there. Would you do that different, or could you do the same thing with the oval skews? Because you've got a bevel on one side and,
yep, it's the same thing.
really?
Because the bevel's rubber, not the tool shaft.
Okay, so you have the double bevel on that skew also.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
and it's the bevel that's doing the guiding. All right, Alan shows another little cut, and it's more of a decorative cut called the chamfer cut. That's just, you go in at an angle. It just split off. Huh. That's what I was going to do, but it beat me to it. Then you lay it flat and you got the heel in. Some people maybe call that a lamb's tongue, or or with a if you use it, combine it with an OG, it becomes a lamb's tongue, or all that. Okay, any questions on those?